Hey there, welcome to the 8th episode of Under the Radar. In the last episode, I covered the band The Color Blue, which was the very first release that Beat City Music put out after they changed their name from the Pirate Party. And it was The Color Blue's first really polished recording. To follow that up, I thought I'd cap off this whole Pirate Party Beat City Music catalog off by covering the final release, which just so happens to be Midwest Blue, which is my old band. Our debut EP, the Columbus Conspiracy EP, which was recorded by Randy Pasco, much like the Super 18 EP, the Broke Downs, and the Color Blues split with Kill Devil Hills. So it's definitely a lo-fi learning experience, we'll say that. But we recorded it all throughout 2001 and dropped it at the very beginning of 2002. What I will say is that if you were to hear this and you are a beginning musician, there is hope for you, because my vocal performance on this thing, I don't know what made me think I could sing 7 songs in, 3 hours, but I definitely pushed myself a little too hard on this CD. And I was also just kind of searching at the time for my voice and like what I was trying to emulate, and there were so many things that it was just kind of confusing at times, and I definitely blew out my voice in the studio, which was a good experience. I had to come back and redo a few things, but even still, it's a pretty horrible performance. But yeah, this band was formed out of the ashes of my old band, Flying South, which my best friend Aaron Krause was on drums in Flying South and also in Midwest Blue with me. And we formed the band with a different bass player who actually didn't play on the record yet, was still pictured, named Billy Coughlin. He ended up leaving the band shortly after and was replaced by Tyler Wildey from the Super 18 and the Rebel Jedi, who recorded all the bass on this EP, which turned out pretty darn good, actually. I think he did a great job. But yeah, it was a kind of a confusing time when we were kind of breaking away from the whole pop punk thing, and I had my first studio experience, which was kind of embarrassing in itself, doing a solo demo in Chicago in an analog studio, and it was kind of a disaster, but it was a really, again, those disastrous times that are kind of embarrassing are also really good learning experiences. And it definitely sharpened me when I went into the studio, but the pendulum swung from having somebody paying for me to do a recording and having a say on all of the production angles of my songs to me just being on my own with a band and we're not even using the metronome and just plugging in and play, one take Jake kind of style. And it definitely shows on this quality. I don't really think any of the songs are worth listening to. But anyway, thanks to Tyler for hooking us up with Randy Pasco and, getting me started, booking our first few shows. He played at least our first 3 shows as Midwest Blue. And we actually worked together at Genovese's Cafe, this Italian deli downtown Crystal Lake, which is kind of funny because nowadays he actually owns and operates Epic Deli in Johnsburg, Illinois, which is an amazing sandwich shop. And I just think it's so funny that we used to work at an Italian deli and now he's doing a deli and doing food and killing it, and so cool to see him thriving. Breaking Point was a pretty catchy song. We were really into the Get Up Kids.
I don't really care if you apologize. I've seen it in your eyes. It's nothing too deep. I don't see the point in blaming me again. Old routines can bend if you try.
Alkaline Trio and Weezer and At the Drive-In and Jimmy Eat World. Trying to figure out how to emulate those bands, and we didn't do a very good job. But again, you start off somewhere and you get better, and we knew after doing this EP with Randy that we wanted something much better quality, especially after, you know, hearing the Color Blues 7-inch and then what they would later release as Took to the Sea. And then I'll be mentioning some more bands and some more episodes that definitely impacted our decision to go forward. And just, you know, iron sharpens iron, you know what I mean? Like, you got these people around you that are pushing themselves and writing and playing, and you just get better with time, right? You hone in your craft, and, you know, I'm very appreciative of this, even though I cannot listen to it. Years later, we would do a Midwest Blue reunion after the band broke up, and we did one show, and we released a collection of like unreleased material, and we decided to throw Didn't You Even Know on that collection, which was called Sides, which was a split release with my label, Alarm Clock Revolution, and Johann Space Records from Chicago. So that is the hidden track on the Midwest Blues Sides CD.
Didn't you even know? 'Cause I love to see you go!
You can actually find the entire Sides album and Midwest Blues' second album, Remembering to Forget, on Bandcamp if you are intrigued by hearing some stuff. I have not made this available anywhere except for what you're hearing right now. So there are only 1,000 of these pressed, and your best bet getting one is probably at a resale shop or record store in the McHenry County area. When I think about this CD, I just think about all the lessons that I learned at such a young age, mistakes, etc., of just being in a band and dealing with dynamics and just being young and immature, and even the way that you get rid of members of a band and replace them with new ones, and just to kind of cringe at some of those decisions that were made, and the way that I even reacted to them. One thing I remember about Tyler Wiley, though, is just how encouraging he was. Even when I was in my old band, you know, showing up to help us like with microphones just so we had enough to mic the drum set, you know. And when he joined Midwest Blue, it was very much like that. Like, he was very encouraging about my songwriting and my vocals, and he definitely pushed me to go further, and definitely taught me, watching him with all his old bands, and then even being in this band just for the short time that we were together in that band, showed me how to hustle. So mad shout outs to you, Tyler, Billy, Seth, and all the other ex-members of Midwest Blue. Yeah, humble beginnings. So I think I've only got maybe one more lo-fi recording left. I may cover that in the next episode, but by episode 10, everything should be to a higher standard of recording quality, and I think you may find that the music is a lot more fun to listen to. So again, thanks for sticking with me, and I'll be putting another episode together very soon. Until then, thanks for your time.